Good afternoon, evening, good night. My name's Toby Burras. This is a song that I wrote, and it's called The Dark Days. So there's violence and murder, just a cry for help. I sit for hours and wonder how I can help myself. And we should rescue the planet instead of saving the world. We should look after each other. So let's begin on this journey. Don't know where to start or where we're going. The dark days and the dark nights, all we wanna do is fight, shut out by the floodlights. Another long day and night. We should rescue the planet instead of saving the world. We should look after each other. So let's begin on this journey. Don't know where to start or where we're going. So let's begin on this journey. Don't know where to start or where we're going. Where did it start? It's a good question. I guess I started playing music at a very young age, but not with any real intention, I suppose. It's one of the... I hate to be one of those people that or even one of those people that believe that it's a natural sort of gift, but there was a real sense of enjoyment, even from a young sort of age, of singing in primary school classes. You know, when you sort of we used to group together on, I think it was a Friday afternoon, we used to group together and it was singing hymns and stuff. You know, nothing that we would now as adults really enjoy singing. But the fact of the whole process of singing and hearing and was really quite, like, I really enjoyed it, but never took anything from it for a good few years until probably my late teens, I would say, was when I got a real fulfillment and number of factors, sort of a non-enjoyment of social life and a non-enjoyment of home life, you know, and a mixture of the two. Is like, and it was something my gran said was like, just take part in everything that you can. So I did loads of sport, and I joined the orchestra, and I joined I did the school play, and anything that could get me sort of extracurricular activity outside school hours that meant I didn't have to be anywhere until 6 p.m. on, you know, I mean, and then later on, the music teacher that I had at the time, Mr. Root, was probably the most influential person in my musical life, in the way that he just absolutely with open arms supported anybody sort of musical in any way, whether it be a young band that wanted to practice in his room after school, or whether it be somebody like me who actually I just had an interest in kind of everything. I wanted to play piano, I wanted to play violin, I wanted to play guitar, I wanted to play the drums, you know, and he used to just leave his rooms open after school and allow me to just go in there, and some nights it'd be the caretaker that kicked me out at like 8-9 o'clock at night. Like the caretaker would come round like, I need to lock up, bro, can you get out? And I'd still be there bashing drums at 9 o'clock, so I was, you know, there's just a genuine interest, a genuine heartfelt, like there's a connection there. It's driven me away from being the little sort of chav that I probably should have been. This song is a song that I wrote with a man called Tom Peru in a band called Unfinished Drawings, which doesn't cease to exist but no longer exists. And it's called Sierra Starr, and it will be on my next album as this version. The proper way. Seen the stars reflecting your eyes, becoming something you despise. Everything just feels the same, and everything in the same place. See, you're a star. Where did you go? See, you're a star. Why didn't you show? Sometimes I feel like breaking down. Sometimes I feel like letting go. Down my feeling sets me free. I can be who I want to be. See, you're a star. Where did you go? See, you're a star. Why didn't you show? See, you're a star. Where did you go? See, you're a star. Why didn't you show? Alright. There's a few, but not many. Again, it goes back to being sort of at school, having somebody there, just that figure. There was a lady called Marcel Black as well, who is just that figure, Mr. Root, Marcel Black, at school through my teenage years. Massive, huge influences without trying to influence anything at all. They were just doing their thing, but really looked up to them, and didn't want to be anything like them, to be fair. You know, as far as music goes, I would say my influences are far and wide. Our house doesn't really listen to music other than nursery rhymes, if I'm honest. But as a general rule, I don't listen to much music. Occasionally I'll find a band that I fall in love with, and I will listen to them on repeat for a month. And then I go back to my musicless life. And the reason for that is whenever I find that I listen to music, I find that it appears in my own music. And unless, you know, the covers and stuff that I play, if you'll tend to find either songs from my childhood that we just heard, songs that I really love that I've come across, or just stuff that I'm kind of forced to listen to, whether I, you know, be in a supermarket or a clothes shop or whatever, or in somebody's car with the radio on. The songs that I hear, I replicate, and I find that with my original stuff, if the more I listen to, the more it appears, and with that comes the next really great influence in my life, which is a bloke called John Gom, who is what I would describe as the perfect DIY musician. And I remember supporting John years and years ago to a handful of crowd, and I remember looking at him, watching him, and thinking, what is he doing? How is he making that guitar do that? And how is he so good? And why is he only playing to this crowd? And I remember thinking that years ago, and even now I know he's obviously, I mean, he's grown massively since then. I mean, he did a European tour every year that I've ever known him, and I know from knowing him that he's done it for many years before I knew him. And for this guy to be traveling Europe and Asia and still the general public have literally no idea who he is, but his fans, I think when you go to a John Gom gig, you will find that 50%, if not a massive amount more, of the people in there are musicians that are looking at him with their jaws dropped, thinking, how the fuck do you get that good? how does that happen? So he musically is my biggest influence to date, and he knows that. I think I've told him enough times anyway. But there's also, you know, massive bands in there as well, you know, people like Biffy Clyro, and back in the day it was kind of pop punky for me, actually, listening wise. I don't know if that actually transpires. I think it does in my lyrics sometimes, and there's definitely some emo lyrics in there at some points, which I had a good phase of. But I would like to say that my music taste is vast, but very, very limited. I listen to nothing. What I do listen to, I discard most of. But when I find a band or an artist, and again, the same applies. I could listen to an entire album of my favourite artist and only take one song from it that will go on my MP3 player or whatever it is these days, my phone or my iPod or whatever. The playlist is probably only 20 or 30 songs, and it's probably only ever listened to once every couple of months, and I've got to be on a really long train journey. I'm probably the most musically ignorant person that most people will ever come across, and most of it's kind of forced music, I would say. But influentially wise, John Gom, Dave Root, Marcel Black, and anybody and everybody in between that has ever supported anything original that I've ever done. That's my, for my original side of things, that's my inspiration, 100%. Yeah. So I'm gonna sing a cover. This one's by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and it's called Californication. It's not the version that I'm used to. I do usually have a loop pedal and some crazy reversed loops and stuff in this, so it's gonna sound odd to me. I don't know what it's gonna sound to you, but we'll see.
Psychic spies from China try to steal your mind's elation. Little girls from Sweden dream of silver screen quotations. If you want these kind of dreams, it's Californication. It's the edge of the world, and all the Western civilization. Sun may rise in the east, at least settled in a final location. It's understood that Hollywood sells Californication. Be a surgeon very well to break the spells of aging. Celebrity skin, is this your chin, or is that one your wager? Firstborn in a call, I call Starr. Dreams of Californication, dreams of California. Dreams of Californication. Marry me, girl, bring my fairy to your world, be my very own constellation. Teenage bath, baby inside, high on information. Buy me a Starr Boulevard, it's Californication. Born and raised by those who praise control the population. Everybody's been there now, don't mean I'm vacation. Firstborn in a call, I call Starr. Dreams of Californication, dreams of Californication, dreams of Californication.
Where do I aim to be? Nowhere and everywhere at the same time. I don't want to be anything near famous. I know that for a definite. I would absolutely detest that lifestyle. But I kind of, I want to be known. I feel like I'm already known. I feel like I've already done quite a lot. I've supported some cool people. I've been on tour, my own tour, and I feel like I'm already kind of at what I would ever have dreamed of even doing. To be fair, I think, you know, when I went on tour, I think that was the dream, you know, and so I've done that, and I guess now my dream is, as ever, just to continue the plight. I really, really, really enjoy helping young people. Shitbag. Helping young people. Sorry about that. Into music in whatever way possible. You know, whether that be taking them along to an open mic session and saying, you know, this is how I got started, and actually it's a really cool place to start with a non-judgmental audience of, you know, musicians. That's where else better to start. That's where I kind of started, and I was taken there by somebody like me who now sort of takes younger people along to these kind of events. And, you know, I've done a little bit of mentoring in my time where I've taken on a couple of young people who have no idea what they're doing at all and just need that little bit of influence and time and effort towards them, I suppose. You know, a lot of young people get disregarded as, you know, they'll play at 2:00 in the afternoon and, you know, they're rubbish or whatever. It was actually a lot of young people out there today that are surpassing the adults massively. So I think my aim is to carry on as I am, as a person, as a musician, but actually to encourage that younger generation. And a lifelong dream of mine is to have something somewhere, a hub of some sort, where we can get these people in and get them out again. and get them out actually doing what they want to do and influencing them how people have influenced me. You know, if I could retract what I got offered in my specific school, I don't think that's a thing that happens in every school. And I'm still in touch with my music teacher 16, 17 years on because of who he is. You know, I'm not in touch with any other teacher other than that guy. And that girl as well, and there's only those two people out of my entire network of people that helped me as a young person that actually stand out. So I would like to eventually be that guy. Maybe not sure how I'm going to get there or how it's possible, but ideally I think I'd like to be that influential figure in somebody else's life, or even better still, in many lives. You know, in as many lives as possible, where I could take a future chav off the street and give them something productive to do on a Friday night, and have that, you know, whether it be a community centre or a hub or a college or a whatever it is that it might be, somewhere for somebody or many people to go and have some direction in life. And while music seems to be cut out of most things, you know, when we're growing up, you know, the curriculum suffers for music and the funding definitely suffers. You know, it's the only department in my school 15 years ago that had to bring outside people in to, you know, get things done. And it's the only thing in my school then that if you wanted to do it, you had to pay extra. You know, if you wanted violin lessons, it wasn't massively expensive by any means, but if I wanted to advance in physics, they would have accommodated that. Whereas if I want to advance in violin or guitar, I need to pay an extra £20 a term, which for poor kids is just it's impossible. It's, you know, I think we all know how, you know, there's more and more. I'd say I lived in some sort of poverty as a child, and we somehow managed to get me through. But that was because I had a teacher there that allowed me his keys to his cupboard and allowed me any instrument I wanted to try. He even sent me to a university summer school, and it was a specialist one. You have to be recommended for these specialist ones, and this guy's a legend. Anyway, there needs to be more people just like him, and he's a dying breed, you know. And I spoke to him quite recently, and he said he's still doing his bit, but he can't do it anywhere near what he does without the access and the funding and the space, to be fair. So I think the future of me lies in that, but also doing what I do as well, and somewhere there's a happy medium where we can make some money and suffice. But we'll do what we do, and all I can say is keep supporting your young local musicians, because it's kind of dying around us, and we need to really help that, because otherwise it will die, you know, like everything else, and it'll be forgotten, and you'll only ever be presented with stuff that gets presented to you, which is often naff. And so with that, I think I'll leave that there. So I think my aim is to get more people to think on that wavelength, and crack on, but also to have something somewhere and everywhere for young people to step into really, really easily, and not only step into it really easily, but be supported through it, and then they can go into the big bad world and fend for themselves, but with a realistic kind of sense, I suppose. So yeah, I think that's my aim. Yeah. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure. So this is another original song. It's, I don't know how many years old. It's one of the embedded ones. Embedded ones. I'm gonna start that again. So I'm gonna do you another original one. This one is one of the embedded ones in my set. It's called Today, and it's been around for a few years, and is definitely going to be featuring on my next album, which I think I might be recording here. I think I might have made my mind up. Unless all it says it costs 10 grand, in which case I'll go somewhere else. I'm just kidding. So I'm going to play you this one more original song. This is called Today, and it sounds like this.
Today is the greatest day of your life. You never thought you'd hear me say it. Now take it with every waking moment, and remember other people crave it. Should have, would have, could have, wish I had. I blew everything we had. Tell me why me, need me, and I will be there, just to show how much I care. pretty face is all I need to see. To take these broken wings, fly them straight back home to me. Never felt so high till the day the sun came up with you. Crazy as it seems, I think it's time for something new. Now tell me what we're supposed to do. We never thought this through. You made it worth my while. That really made me smile. Should have, would have, could have, wish I had. I blew everything we had. Tell me, why me, need me, and I will be there. Just to show how much I care. Something tells me your pretty face is all I need to see. To take these broken wings, fly them straight back home to me. Never felt so high till the day the sun came up with you. Crazy as it seems, I think it's time for something new.
Sweet.